The title of today's message is God's Open Book Tests. Aren't you glad when the teacher would say you're in school, this is an open book test? I got excited about that. Well, that's what the Lord does. His pattern is he teaches us things. He gives us revelation, wisdom in an area, his ways, a belief about ourselves and him, and then we face something. It's a test. And it's open book. And the thing about the Lord is that with the test that he gives, if we don't pass it, we'll see it again and again. And, I've done a lot of laps in the wilderness on things and, need to do another lap in the wilderness, be retaught about a certain principle, be retaught about how to do relationships, and then I have a test. And, I do laps in the wilderness, bump into the same cacti, see the same spiritual tumbleweed blow by. And I want to give you a verse here that is a profound verse. We teach on joy, and this is a great joy verse. James 1:2-4. My brethren, count it all joy. Man, it says all joy. Count it all joy when you fall into various trials. So you fall into them. It's unplanned. Into various trials, knowing that the testing, there's the word, testing of your faith, or as I would put it, the testing of your beliefs, produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And I love that. The goal there, that is something that's available to us, and which is called lacking nothing. And boy, if you're lacking nothing, you're not in lack. I mean, David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. If we're lacking nothing, it's not only financial, but we're not lacking health. We're not lacking healthy relationships. We're not lacking protection. We're not lacking influence. We're not lacking miracles. We're not lacking the fruit of the Spirit. We're not lacking the gifts of the Spirit. But it gives us a pathway here. It says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing. Now, that word knowing, the only way that we can count it all joy when we fall into various trials is if we know something, if we have revelation on something. And the revelation is that inside this trial, connected to this trial, is something that I can get excited about, something that I can consider it pure joy. Wow. Now, before I get into this deeper, let me just say something about trials. And this message is not intended to make us passive or to develop doctrines that God sends us trials. He sends us cancer to give us character, to test it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in normal life, there's enough things that happen because the fullness of the kingdom hasn't manifested or in us or around us. There's enough things that's happened that inside those, there is something powerful. In the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6, part of the Lord's Prayer is we pray, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And we are to believe that we're going to increasingly see heaven on earth. Bill Johnson's great book on when heaven invades earth just shook the body of Christ with a revelation that's continuing to reverberate. And it basically says if it's not in heaven and it's on earth, then we have authority. We know it's not God's will for that thing to remain. So we believe the kingdom's advancing. We believe that as the kingdom advances, and we're going to see more heaven on earth. There's going to be less crime. There's going to be less poverty. There's going to be less disasters. There's going to be less abuse. There's going to be less home dysfunction. There's going to be less disease. There's going to be less premature deaths, and on and on and on. And so I wanted to say that. But the kingdom is not advanced fully yet. I mean, we haven't seen its full manifestation. So we have things while we're waiting called various trials. Various trials. And again, my brethren, count it all joy. Consider it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith. Now, within our trials, within these various trials, there's a test. There's a testing of our belief systems, because what we believe is more important than what we do. Now, within the various trial, the trial is trying to speak to us. It's trying to tell us something. Tell us something to renew our minds with. Now, again, the Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And obviously that's talking about positive mind renewal, be transformed, which means to get into your feelings and in your experience the promises of God. But the truth is that we can renew our mind with lies or truth. I can renew my mind that I'm a failure, I'm unworthy to be blessed, I'm stupid, I'm a victim of other people's perceptions of me, things are only going to get worse, whatever. I can renew my mind with those. And the negative of that is that, because current mind renewal creates future feelings and future experience, the negative of that is if I renew my mind with it, then that's going to create a negative transformation in my future. And so within the trial is trying to tell us something to renew our mind with. That's the test. So I could have a financial trial, and it could try to be saying something about God. Hey, God's not faithful. He's not a good provider. He's not going to provide for you. The financial trial could say, again, you're not worthy to be blessed. Things only get worse. You take two steps. You take one step forward. Then you take two steps back. Right? Stupid. I get my tongue twisted on this. One step forward, and then you take two steps backwards. Or you could have a family relationship trial, and it could send you the message to have you renew your mind with, your prayers for your family are not working. Things are only going to get worse. This is too difficult. You have made too many mistakes in your previous connection in this relationship, and those mistakes are too big. And so there's belief systems that want to come at us. I love the story of Abram becoming Abraham, and it says in Romans 4:19, it says, not being weak in faith, he did not consider his own body as good as dead, for he was about 100 years old, nor the deadness of Sarah's womb. Now, his circumstances, his trial of the long-lasting, unchanging reality that was that was trying to speak to him, that was contrary to the promise of God, that was trying to speak to him. It was a test, and he says he considered not. And I like the word consider, because then if we got here in James, consider it all joy or pure joy. So when we're in a trial, when we're in a various trial, almost always that trial, well, I'm going to say always, that the trial has something that's testing our beliefs. It's a test. We get trained, and we love training you here at Igniting Hope, with the revelation that what we believe is more important than what we do. And we build up our beliefs, and the stronger our beliefs get, the stronger our load-bearing capacity gets, the stronger our hope gets, the stronger our joy gets, the stronger our peace gets, our rest. Those are the fruit of good beliefs. So we're tested. We have it all the time. You've got tests. I've got tests right now. So we say, all right, what is the belief that's trying to be tested, that is being tested right now? Because what's happening in us is almost always more important than what's happening through us. My response to something is almost always more important than the something. And so as I look at my circumstances, as you look at your circumstances that are speaking to you, the trial, the various trials, the non-manifestation of the promise, and certainly we're not passive. We resist the devil and he flees from us. But the greatest resistance of the devil is to resist his lies that he's trying to speak to us through our circumstances. I remember just learning this in the early 90s, and I have all these signs of outward non-success that were trying to tell me a non-successful car. You're lying to me. Listen, you're lying to me. You're trying to send me a message of who I am, what my potential is, whether I should be embarrassed about myself. Yeah, I'm less than. No, delete. My salary and bank account was trying to send me a message. It's a various trial. My lack of hair, my declining hairline was trying to send me a message of who I am and what my potential is, my appearance. I'm going to do a part 2 to this in my next podcast, and we'll get into some more specifics on how these various trials are trying to reinforce our negative strongholds. Negative strongholds of disappointment, victim mindset, regret, perfectionism, pessimism, unworthiness, shame, impulsiveness, fear, worry. The list goes on. These negative strongholds are developed by regular mind renewal with messages being sent, the lies that are in the messages, and our renewing the minds create those negative strongholds. This verse, again, has such a great result. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing the only way you can count it all joy is if you know something. Knowing that the testing of your faith, this is an opportunity. There's an opportunity in this trial. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces perseverance, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Now listen, this lacking nothing, another word for it is called soul prosperity. It's an unstoppable. You get unstoppable, you're lacking nothing. Nothing can stop you. No devil, no person, no past. 3 John 2 says, beloved, I pray that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Wow. That's lacking nothing. And you are a person right now who's moving towards greater soul prosperity. Your response to something is almost always more important than the something. You're realizing through the grace of God that there's a testing of your faith, your belief systems that are inherent in that. And that test, winning that battle, is almost always more important than the trial itself. Because if you can win the battle of the lies that are trying to come out of those various trials, you will be unstoppable. We'll do more on this. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this podcast from Igniting Hope Ministries. Steve Backlund here. And we are here to ignite your hope. There's no hopeless circumstances. There's no hopeless circumstances. There's just people who do not have hope. And once people get true hope, circumstances cannot stay the same. Hope's an unstoppable force. If something's going to change, somebody has hope. Hope is the belief that the future will be better than the present, and we have the power to help make it so. Increasing hope is the evidence we're renewing our mind with truth and creating positive strongholds of faith, hope, love, peace, courage, love, feeling loved, being loved. And decreasing hope is the evidence that we're renewing. Oh boy, someone say, bless me. Decreasing hope is the evidence that we're renewing our mind with lies and creating negative strongholds. And remember too, the joy of the Lord is your strength. A merry heart is good like medicine. We don't need strength at the end of the battle. We need strength in the middle. And this is really, so we combine Nehemiah 8:10, the joy of the Lord is your strength, with James 1:2, consider it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith, they really combine, because you enter the joy of the Lord into the battle right now, and you have strength. That joy gives you strength. And a merry heart is good like medicine. A secret to strength and longevity is to value a merry heart. The couple that laughs together stays together. The friend that laughs together stays together. The leadership team or the team that laughs together stays together. We increase joy through thanksgiving, focusing more on what we have and what's happening rather than focusing on what's not happening. Psalm 100 says, enter his gates with thanksgiving. We enter his gates with thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a gateway to many things. Increasing thanksgiving to God and people will get you unstuck and move you through a gate into something different, into something new, into something higher. And it's certainly a gateway into joy. And also, we increase our joy by delighting in the Lord. Delighting in the Lord is the opposite of the spirit of heaviness. Psalm 37 verse 4 says, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. The delighter in this verse is delighting with unfulfilled desires, something that he or she wants to see happen that hasn't happened yet. Disappointments, various trials. Delight, and the delighter, because my definition of joy is the childlike wonder and excitement of working with God instead of working for God. The childlike wonder and excitement of working with God instead of working for God. Woohoo, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do it, but you're going to do it. I don't know. I'm just so excited it's going to happen. And the delighter is living while they're waiting. That's a fruit of hope. People who don't value hope are waiting to live. Even people of faith, they're fixated on something happening before they believe they can live. It's subconscious usually, but that's the case. I can't fully live unless this thing changes. But delighters are living while they're waiting. They're learning how to fully live now with desires unfulfilled. And it's one of the greatest indicators that you're going to be able to have a steward well the desire when it's fulfilled. You know, for pretty much everybody listening today or watching, if you might be watching on YouTube, this podcast, pretty much everybody is just saying, this is not a convenient time for me or a convenient season to be radically joyful. You know, I've never found a convenient season to be radically joyful. And certainly we weep with those who weep. There's seasons of mourning, but it can't be a lifestyle. There's seasons of getting healed up. But even in that, the joy of the Lord is going to be a strength. You're going to find it. Hey, thank you so much. We just started our annual Negativity Fast Positivity Feast. It's not too late if you're getting this podcast immediately after here in early March 2025. You can sign up for that. We have almost 4,000 people participating, including 1,000 people who are doing our Portuguese version, which is so exciting. And we'll be starting up soon in April, our 5-month transformational mind renewal course. If you're looking for something to really dive deep into my content, that is a great opportunity for you. You can find these things on ignitinghopeacademy.com. And then in September, I'm going to be starting again my Backlund Leadership Academy, a 9-month online leadership mentoring by me. This year we have 40 students that we've been mentoring, and it's been really powerful. We have that also. If you want information on that academy at ignitinghopeacademy.com. I believe this: if someone spends 9 months with me, they'll never be the same again. And really excited about the fruit. And it's even going to be better next year, because anytime you do something the first year, you learn some things, how to even do it better. Hey, I'll be in San Francisco at the end of March, early April there. I will be also in Carmel, Indiana, Elm, Pennsylvania, be in Cottonwood, California coming up, which is very near Redding. Be in Brazil in June, and I'm forgetting a few things where I'm going to be, but I'll let you know on a future podcast. Go to ignitinghope.com if you want to sign up for our newsletter and receive the blog that goes along with the podcast and be a part of our community in that way. We will not overwhelm you with emails, but we are encouraging. We are going to help you with your belief systems and your hope and your joy. So God bless you. Thank you for those of you who are vision partners with us as well and committing to regular financial giving. It blesses us so much. If everyone is so into Igniting Hope, it means much to us as we want to expand this message around the world. And if that's not what you feel called to do, no problem. We bless you all in the name of Jesus. And I speak an irrevocable blessing over you, a blessing of intimacy with God, revelation, connectivity to the Lord. Just your God concept will be healthy, physical health in your body, influence for the kingdom, financial provision, relational health and soundness, ideas and breakthrough to increase your talents, and more. All right. Bless you much.